This segment is sponsored by New Day Legal.
So many of us are facing challenging times presently and ahead, and certainly the economic picture is coming into focus for so many of us. The team with New Day Legal has some insights on bankruptcy and debt relief. We're talking today with Suad Bektic. He's managing attorney. Suad, it's great to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great to see you.
Thanks for being with us. You know, we mentioned the tough economic times, and we are beginning to have things come into focus in terms of our economic picture and our finances. When is the right time to get in touch with an attorney or legal counsel if you could be considering bankruptcy?
Thank you for that question. So it doesn't really matter how far along you are along the path of your debt challenges, let's call it. You want to talk to somebody immediately, right? Because there may be options available to you that will no longer be available tomorrow. Or even more unfortunate is you may take a certain action today and disqualify yourself from a remedy that would otherwise be available to you.
So most importantly, keep in mind, time is of the essence. What do you look for? What things do you look for when you're considering if someone is a right fit for bankruptcy?
So we take a very comprehensive approach. Essentially, just to answer your question directly, there's sort of three groups of people that I categorize folks in that are bankruptcy filers, let's call it. So one is somebody that just can't make their payments, credit cards, car payments, mortgage payments, rent. So somebody like that certainly would be an excellent candidate. Two is folks that can only make their minimum payments, which usually means you're barely paying the interest, and it'll be years before it's paid off, assuming nothing else happens in your life to where you can't make those payments. And then the last group is folks that just are able to make more than the minimum payments, but there's just so much debt that it probably makes more sense to just file bankruptcy instead.
And Suad, even with those categories of filers, there are different types of bankruptcies. It's not one size fits all.
That is correct. So essentially there's four big bankruptcies that can be filed, Chapter 7, 11, 12, 13. And they all offer different things for different folks. So when you are looking at your options, make sure that you speak with an attorney that knows more than just Chapter 7, okay? Because there's other remedies available to you that may be better for your particular situation.
And when folks are considering bankruptcy, what are the typical concerns that you hear about filing?
Will I keep my house? Will I keep my car? Is my retirement safe? Things like that. Those are sort of the financial concerns. And then you also have the emotional concerns. Embarrassment. What did I do wrong? How did I get here? The first one is just, numbers based. We have solutions for that. The second one is a little bit tougher for me because I completely disagree. There shouldn't be any reason to feel that way, but it's real. Now, the reason I say that is because a lot of times people find themselves in our office because things have happened that they have no control over, okay? The car broke down. Child number 1 got sick. Child number 3 needed braces. So many different things in life can happen to where if you're already on a tight budget, there just isn't any money to make these payments. So a lot of people file bankruptcy every single year. So you're not alone, but it's just sort of hard to get that across. And I hate when somebody, feels that way.
Well, I would imagine that one of those concerns too is how does this affect my credit? We talk often about credit and our personal credit. So how does it affect that?
Sure. And when most people think of credit, they think of their credit score. But when lenders are deciding whether to give you a loan, they're really looking at the risk you pose. And sort of the biggest thing for that is your income and your debt payments presently. So, if you're showing them that you already have a lot of debt, you can't afford to make these payments, it doesn't matter what your credit score is. So from that standpoint, bankruptcy will definitely help with that. Either it'll reduce your debt down to zero or close to it, and that will make you more appealing. But believe it or not, depending on where your score is going into it, it may actually raise your credit score as well.
Interesting. Something definitely to consider. We're almost out of time, but I do want to ask you, how is bankruptcy something that you recommend for most people?
No, right? So I discussed the categories of people that would file for bankruptcy. And even if you're in that very first one, there's instances where we don't recommend it. And that's certainly the case for the other two categories as well. So it's just something we have to discuss and, figure out what the best option is for you.
Always considering that best option. We're just about out of time, but I know you're very passionate about what you do, and the team at New Day Legal is too. You really enjoy it, don't you?
Absolutely. I tell everybody that, I have the best job in the world because it's intellectually challenging. It's fun, but really it's fulfilling and rewarding. And, we have a whole group of staff behind us that feel the same way. And, our clients thank us all the time, but it's really them that make our life easier and more fulfilling with what we do.
Well, it sounds like it's a partnership. Suad Bektic, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it. We'll be sure to share information so that you can connect with the team at New Day Legal.
New Day Legal is located at 8607 Mayland Drive in Richmond. They are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. For more information, give them a call, 804-997-7395. You can find them online at newdaylegal.com and on Facebook at New Day Legal. And please stay tuned. Virginia This Morning returns right after a short break.